Foundation.
Captain Kangaroo is made possible in part by School Zone, publishers of home learning materials. School Zone offers workbooks, storybooks, cassettes, videotapes, flashcards, and puzzles designed especially for children. And by this station and other public television stations.
Funding for Captain Kangaroo has been provided by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, a catalyst for change in health, conservation, creativity, and communication at home and around the world, and by this station and other public television stations.
This program was made possible by grants from the Ford Foundation, this station and other public television stations, the Field Foundation, the New York Times Company Foundation, and the J. Roderick MacArthur Foundation.
Funding for championship ballroom dancing is made possible by viewers like you. And by Arthur Murray Franchise Dance Studios. Arthur Murray, teaching the world to dance for 77 years. And Violette LaFontaine, a ballroom dancer and patron of the art.
Corporate funding for Columbus and the Age of Discovery is provided by Xerox, putting people and ideas together. Scanning, faxing, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company. Additional funding provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Arthur Vining Davis Foundations, the George D. Smith Fund, the Lowell Institute, and viewers like you.
Connections has been made possible by a grant from American Telephone and Telegraph Company and associated companies of the Bell System.
Cooking at the Academy is made possible by Wusthof Trident, knife makers to the world, since 1814. The difference between cooking and creating. Wusthof Trident. And by Everpure Drinking Water Systems. And by Chicago Metallic, the bakeware company, since 1898. And by Meyer, makers of Circulon Commercial, between the fire and the food, designed and engineered for the serious cook.
Funding for Covert Bailey's Fitter Fat is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you. Additional funding for Covert Bailey's Fitter Fat is provided by HealthNet, California's health plan. HealthNet is proud to support this program, which encourages wellness through exercise and a balanced diet.
Funding for this program was provided by the Florence and John Schumann Foundation, the American Bar Association, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and by the financial support of viewers like you.
Major funding for Crucible of Empire was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Funding was also provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, the annual financial support of viewers like you, and the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Major funding for Currents was provided by a grant from First Fidelity Bank. At First Fidelity, our first concern is you. Member First Fidelity Bank Corporation. Additional support provided by the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation and by the members of 13. For a transcript of the program, send $3 to Currents, WNET 13, Gateway 1, Newark, New Jersey, 07102. Make checks payable to the Educational Broadcasting Corporation.
Major funding for dancing was provided by Lila Wallace Reader's Digest Fund, bringing dancers and audiences together in communities nationwide. The National Endowment for the Arts. Additional funding has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you. The Ford Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, and the following.
This program was also made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to PBS stations from viewers like you. Thank you.
Funding for Degrassi Junior High is made possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and this and other public television stations.
Funding for this program is provided by Ford, a commitment to building quality cars and trucks and making a commitment to quality, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and viewers like you.
Funding for this program was provided by the Annenberg CPB project.
With additional funding provided by the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation.
Funding for Dialogue is provided by the Friends of Idaho Public Television and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Major funding for Don't Look Now is provided by the Mabel Louise Riley Foundation, a Boston-based foundation with special interest in children and youth. Additional funding is provided by television stations and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
And is made possible by grants from the Dun & Bradstreet Corporation, Merrill Lynch Pierce Fenner & Smith Incorporated, Charles E. Culpeper Foundation, the Arthur Vining Davis Foundations, the William and Mary Grieve Foundation, the George Gund Foundation, and Arthur D. Little Incorporated.
Major funding for Ethics in America was provided by the Annenberg CPB project with additional support from Equicor Equitable HCA Corporation, the Good Listening Employee Benefits Company. For more information on the college telecourse, video cassettes, off-air videotaping, and books based on the series, call 1-800-LEARNER.
This program has been made possible by a grant from Martin Marietta Corporation. Funding for Evening at Pops is provided by this station and other public television stations nationwide, and by a grant from Digital Equipment Corporation, the world's second largest computer company, providing computer solutions for professionals from professionals.
Evening at Pops is made possible by the financial support of viewers like you, and by Digital Equipment Corporation through its Digital Discovery series, celebrating the arts, sciences, and humanities. Digital and its employees invite you to join with them in supporting public television. Evening at Pops is made possible by the financial support of viewers like you, and by Digital Equipment Corporation through its Digital Discovery series, celebrating the arts, sciences, and humanities. Digital and its employees invite you to join with them in supporting public television.
Funding for this program was provided by this station and other public television stations.
Fire on the Rim is made possible by viewers like you and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional funding has been provided by these Fletcher Challenge Group companies: the Fletcher Construction Company, Dinwiddie Construction Company, Pacific Construction Company, Wright Schuchard Incorporated, and Fletcher Challenge Canada.
Funding for this program was provided by this station, by other public television stations, and by the following.
For a Deaf Son is made possible in part by Accordia, a network of companies providing insurance brokerage, administration, and selected financial services across America. American Airlines, providing daily flights to Europe and offering the American Airlines Advantage Travel Awards program since 1981. The Southwestern Bell Foundation. Funding also is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the Southern Educational Communications Association.
Major funding for this program has been provided by the National Endowment for the Humanities, a federal agency that supports research, education, and public programs. Corporate funding provided by Kodak, which is proud to make possible Frederick Douglass, When the Lion Wrote History, an inspiring saga that speaks to those with the courage to believe they can change the moments of their lives.
Funding for this Frontline special report was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support of viewers like you. Additional funding for this special program was provided by Lockheed, America's aerospace company, supporting math, science, and engineering education for national technology leadership, and by Merrill Lynch, serving the investment needs of individuals, corporations, institutions, and governments. Merrill Lynch, a tradition of trust.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the financial support of viewers like you and the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. Additional funding is provided by the Nathan Cummings Foundation and by the Mosaic Foundation of Rita and Peter Hayden.
Future Quest is made possible by AT&T, a proud supporter of public television.
Have you ever had an assistant who lived in your computer? You will. And the company that will bring it to you? AT&T.
This program is made possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you.
Jazz Set West was made possible with support from the Western States Arts Federation and the Lila Wallace Reader's Digest National Jazz Network.
Presentation of the Glenn Miller Band Reunion is made possible by this station and other public television stations nationwide. Additional funding has been provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Going Places is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support of viewers like you. Additional funding is provided by Rosalind P. Walter.
Funding for this program was provided by Coalition for Freedom, Milliken and Company, and E.A. Morris.
Funding for this program has been provided by grants from the National Endowment for the Arts, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Exxon Corporation, and by this station and other public television stations.
The following program is a co-production of WNET New York and KQED San Francisco and is made possible by grants from the National Endowment for the Arts, Exxon Corporation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, this station and other public television stations, and by individual supporters of KQED.
Great Performances is made possible by Martin Marietta, dedicated to excellence in aerospace, electronics, information management, and materials. Martin Marietta, masterminding tomorrow's technologies. Great performances is also made possible by